Alright, y'all, before we get into this video, I want to let y'all know I haven't posted a video since I got my newest shirt order in. Everything from 2X to 6X, 2X to 4X, we got regular and tall. 5X and 6X, we couldn't get tall, only regular shirts. Those are online. A bunch of them has already sold. I made a Facebook post on my personal page, and they took off. But I've still got a good bit of shirts. So hop on lowerclassfab.com and buy some merch. We got stickers, hats, shirts, all the way from youth small to 6X. If we don't have what you need, we're trying to keep inventory in, so when they sell out, we're trying to get more. My shirt lady's having a hard time keeping up, but because y'all buying the crap out of these things. So hop on lowerclassfab.com again, buy some merch, and let's get into this video. Everybody, we're back with part 2 of Chris's bagged S10, and gonna get started on the front today. Give y'all a rundown of kind of what we're gonna do. We're running factory control arms. He's on a 17 with a short tire, so there's really no need for tubular control arms or anything like that. These will work fine all the way up to a 20, possibly a 22. I'm not sure, I've never tried, but the truck still had stock spindles on it. We've got some McGawheys or McGawy's, however you say it, 2-inch S10 drop spindles for this thing. Chris went and picked up all new ball joints and or lower ball joints and steering for this thing today. He's going to bring that over tonight. I've got some Pro Forged upper high travel ball joints for the top. I bought those from IS10. They didn't work out. They wouldn't fit in the tubular control arms that I had, so we ended up not using them. They've been on the shelf. So we're going to put those in here because eventually he did say that he would like the option to be able to switch to 20s. You're going to have to tub the firewall, going to have to lose the AC most likely, or modify the AC heavily. So he wasn't prepared to do that right now. So we're going to flat plate the lowers. We're going to de-hump them, flat plate them, where the bag bolts straight to it. I bought some cups for this thing from Lowrider Depot. I mocked them up last night. They're pretty tall. With the 17, I think we're going to be fine. But when it goes to a 20, we might have to trim the upper cup a little bit. We're also putting Firestone 2,600 pound bags in the front of this truck. A lot of people run 2,500, so they don't have to cut as much. But me personally, it takes so much air pressure to pick the front of the trucks up with 25s that it's worth the extra effort cutting and clearancing for the 26s. It picks the front of the truck up with less pressure. It rides better. It's just all around. It's a better option because it gets more lift, and you know, you're trying to get in and out of a sketchy spot or get this thing up on a trailer, you're going to enjoy that extra little bit of lift. So I already got a head start. You can see behind me, I already tore the suspension down last night. And I got to go ahead and pull the lower control arms off. I'm going to start with flat plating them and get that ball rolling. And then we'll come back and start clearing some spring pockets. But I want to go ahead and do the lower control arms first. I got this fab table over here that I bought. It's the one from Harbor Freight, the cheap one, but it's turned into a table, so I got to go over there and clean that off first so I can use it as a fab table. So I'm gonna get started on that, get this lower control arm snatched off, and kind of show you how I go about doing that. I haven't done one of these with de-hump lowers in a while, so I may have to learn again. We'll learn together. All right, got this thing clamped down on the table and done got started. Kind of forgot to film. So first thing I'm gonna do is get this bump stop off because it's in the way. There's 2 rivets. I already ground the head off of them. Just after the head's off, I'm just going to take the hammer, hit the backside, knock this off, and then get this ball joint out of here. We got new ones on the way. Chris is bringing those. We get the ball joint out and the bump stop and grind all this up, give me some clean metal to work with, and start laying out some lines. I'll show you how I lay it out. And like I say, you can do it the way I do it, or you can do it a completely different way. That's up to you. So, all right, so I got the steering bump stop bracket off of the control arm. I just sit on the ground, hit it a couple times with a hammer, and come off. Next, we're going to get the ball joint out. I got a press over there. You can do it on it. I figure by the time I jigged it up, I can just grab this off the toolbox and press it out. Most of the time when I do ball joints, the control arms are still on the truck. So this is an easier way than pulling it off and taking it to the press. So sometimes we've had to put them on the press, so this thing push it out. This one came from O'Reilly's. You can get them at Harbor Freight or wherever. You can get them online. They're super cheap. But it almost takes a master's degree to figure out how to jig it sometimes. So I'm gonna push this thing out real quick and see. Just like that. Ball joints out. And my whole assembly fell apart. That's lovely. Hey, guess what? O'Reilly's has a lifetime warranty on this, so I'll be taking this back. I've used it about 1,000,000 times. It's about time something fell apart on it. Okay. This thing's got a... this is separate than the thread, so that the threads can spin and this can stay stationary. And I guess whatever holds that together finally decided it didn't want to hold it together anymore. But we got the ball joint out, so we're good there. And I'm going to put all these tools up and get these bolt stops off. That's just a simple bolt. I'm not going to show you that. And get these control arms cleaned up, and I'll be right back with you to show you how to de-hump and flat plate them my way. So here's how I do the arms. Put them on a flat surface. Hang on, let me get this stretched out here. I take my tape, come up 1 3/4 inches, make me 5 or 6 marks along here from the flat surface. And then I take just a old aluminum straight edge ruler and just make me a straight mark on both sides. My number I always use on this is 1 3/4 inches. If you went up to 2, you'd be right on the edge of that, and you would only be taking the hump out. But this is going to recess down into the arm a little bit, and then with the thickness of my metal, it's going to put it pretty close back up to flush. So I'm going to cut this whole center out of this arm and take it, throw it away. I've done them before where I only cut the top off and I left the inside, and then I welded this and this to the plate, but there's a lot more cutting and a lot more time consuming, so this is the way I started doing them. And I'm gonna get the cutoff wheel out and start hacking. You could cut this with a plasma, but get a really good straight cut with the cutoff wheel. So jump on it and Chris made it out. He brought me some front end parts. I don't know where you put them at, but they all in a stack over there. All right, I got this control arm cut out. I cut that giant piece out, butchered it. Ain't much left. Chris brought me over some metal the other day. Got this sheet of I think it's 3/16. You can use quarter if you want. I don't have a sheet of quarter, and that's more than strong enough. Big enough. So yeah. And when I said, "Hey, I need some metal, Chris," this is what he brought me. About $1,000 worth.
And a tailpipe.
Yeah, and a tailpipe. So he owns the muffler shop, so he's got a few of those laying around. But I got me a template made out of cardboard. Priority mailbox, because I'm not paying USPS $20 to mail your shirts out. So got that marked out on my sheet metal. Let's see. Fits down in there, and then right here we'll just come in with a little piece of metal here and add it, and right here, and I'll be right with the world again. And it'll lay on 20s. So. Alright, I'm gonna drag my plasma out, get ready to cut this, and show y'all in a minute. We got one done tonight. It's better than none. So I got this thing de-humped. My filler plates welded in. We ended up beating that one down just a little bit and welding it. And then we put a small one here and welded that. It's welded on the bottom. You can't really see it, but it's welded all the way around. We're gonna mock that up on the truck, figure out where the airbag lands with it fully collapsed, draw a circle around the airbag, and mark our center hole. Voila. De-hump lowers. And that took about, what, how long you been here, an hour?
Yeah, about an hour.
I started on it just a few minutes before you got here. So we got new lower ball joints we're going to stick in it. Mock it all up, and then after we get everything with the shocks and all that done, we will pull it off and paint it. Speaking of that, I need to talk to you about some paint. All right, I'll see y'all. All right, y'all. So it's the next day. I got the driver's side control arm pulled off. I'll show you a comparison to the passenger side. The height difference. Kind of exactly what we're trying to do here. We're trying to get rid of those humps in the control arm, obviously, because they come in contact with the bottom of the frame right here. If you've never bagged an S10, you know that's new info, but Most of y'all that's watching this has probably done an S10 or two before. So now I have to make that control arm match this control arm and get it tore apart like I did this one. First thing we're gonna do is get the steering stop off, get the ball joint out, bump stop off, do a bunch of grinding, cleaning, wire wheeling, get it all cleaned up, and then hopefully my template, I actually weighted it down so the fan wouldn't blow it away. Maybe my template will work good for this side. I can get it hacked out, and I'm not gonna show you the same process over again. It's just the same thing but flipped. And here we go. I'll be back with you in just a minute when I get done. You know, in like 3 hours. I got this arm cut. This is my template from the other side. And we're gonna see how close we got it. So we're gonna get that side over. That side's over. That's pretty dang close. Oh, pushed it too far. So that's gonna work out. We're gonna get this piece of metal back up off the floor here, get it laid up here, get the plasma out, cut it out, grind it up, weld it in, wham bam, thank you ma'am, let's get out of here. Next night, already like 9 o'clock, it's Friday night, got a late start getting out here. Just gonna get a couple things done. I gotta actually work in the morning, so I'm not gonna stay here very late. And it's raining in South Georgia again. And I checked the weather forecast earlier, and it wasn't supposed to rain. Got on the tractor, haired my yard up, got the box blade out, got it all nice and level, you know, got all the ruts out of it. And literally, when I was getting off the tractor, when I got done, it started flooding, and I had to wash my yard away again. So it looks like tomorrow I get to do it again. So, but let me show you what we're working on right now. So, let me turn this light on my head. All right, so we got to cut the spring pocket out. We got to take it all the way back to this back wall because we're putting a 2,600 pound bag on this truck. We're gonna come in, we're gonna notch it all the way out here. And this is just kind of one of those, I've done it a few times lines. So, you know, if you're new to this, cut a little bit, keep cutting until you get it where you need it. But I'm just gonna kind of wing it and cut that out, test fit it, go from there. And yeah. So sometimes it takes 2 or 3 tries to get it where we need it, but we're going to go ahead and just cut this out. We got to start somewhere. So I'm not going to show y'all me cutting this out because my phone is on 11% and I need to charge it. So I'm going to charge it. And when I come back, that'll be cut. All right. Got this side mocked up. Had to come back. The marks I showed you a minute ago, I had to come back and trim them a little higher. This cup is undoubtedly a little shorter than mine. So the airbag, top of the airbag was up a little higher. But this is fully collapsed. I got my jack all the way up. The only clearance issue I have right now is the top of this control arm is hitting the spring pocket. So I marked that each side. I'm going to go in and trim that up a little bit. But I've got room all the way around the airbag. Everywhere. Fully collapsed. So if that was a little tighter, I would cut more. Because this airbag is naturally going to swell out a little bit as it gets air in it. These Firestones, I like these because they don't balloon like a Dominator. So a Dominator, I would have had to cut a lot more to spring pocket out. But these are going to work just fine. So it's getting a little late. I am going to grind this corner right here just a little bit higher. See, I got it marked. Just kind of, you don't want a really sharp 90 because it'll crack. So you want it as rounded as you can get it. I ideally would want it like this, but when I had to come back and cut up a little higher, the only way to get it more rounded was to bring this cut way over here, and I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to cut up any more out than what I had to. So you can also see right here with the flat plate where it would have hit on the frame. If this control arm still had this big hump, it wouldn't be nowhere near this compressed. So tomorrow, I got to work in the morning, like I said, but tomorrow when I get out here, I'm going to put ball joints in it. Get my spindle, my new drop spindle on, and compress this thing and kind of see where we at compared to the front cross member. 20-inch wheel, we're going to say about a 27-inch tall tire like we did on the back when we set the notch up. So we're going to level off the bottom of this, and we need the center of that hub to be 13.5 inches. And that way we know we have enough suspension to lay. We won't have enough clearance up here to lay, but we will have enough suspension travel to lay. So. All right, see y'all tomorrow. Saturday. We've already had lunch at this point. Yeah. I had to work this morning. So, yeah, anyway, got this hole drilled. I just drew me a circle around the bag, put me some lines, made me a center mark, bam. Kind of guessed. But, that's almost touching. That is touching. I got to notch that. Next, I'm going to put this ball joint in and swap the hubs and stuff over to the new spindles and get this thing mocked up, see where we at with it. And then do the other side. It's just, I got some customer work coming in next week. I need this thing to be mobile. So, and I'd like to see it laid out. Wouldn't you?
Yep.
Sure Chris would. So. All right, we're going to get back to work. All right, we got the new lower ball joint in. Got the rivets off the top one. And I had some ball joints. These are the Super Travel Pro-Forged joints that Suicide Doors used to sell. Last time I looked, they were not in stock, and they have not been for a long time. So I guess he's going to sell them. I bought these from my buddy Justin to put in my S10, but they would not work with the aftermarket control arm. So they're designed to work with I don't know what they're actually designed to do, but this is what they do. They're at a different angle so that it doesn't bind. Supposedly you can lay on like a 27.5 to 28 inch tall tire on these, and the ball joint still got travel. So I don't remember exactly what the number was. I need to look that up. I'll put it on the screen. But yeah, it's like $60 a piece. There's a part number. I don't even know if you can still buy these, but I don't think we're going to be using them on the 17s. Not going to be maxing them out anyway. That little 23 inch tall tire. But anyway, we're going to stick these in here. Chris can use them. I'm going to spray paint this right here just up a little bit, and then when we get done, we'll paint the rest of it. I just don't want to spray paint the ball joint. Toodaloo. Alright, y'all can't see him, but Dan's over there tightening that upper ball joint. I'm about to get started on this spindle. Chris went and got me all new bearings, wheel seals and everything. And I picked up some studs earlier this week because we got two here that's bad. About to tear this apart and get the drop spindle over here, and I'll show you all the difference in them. If you are kind of new to this and you've never seen it, I should kind of show you what the difference is. But get this door apart and I'll be right back. Hello there. Alright, so we got some drop spindles here from McGaughy's, however you say it. Yeah. If you don't know what a drop spindle does, it takes the main shaft here that your hub goes on and moves it up 2 inches to lower your truck. Very simple, very effective. Works. They've been making them forever, way longer than I've been alive, and they just do the thing. So this is the passenger side one. I already stripped that spindle down. You got your dust shields, got to go back on. Make sure you put it the right way because it does. This truck has a wheel speed sensor. Not all of them do. That's rich folk stuff right there. You know, Chris, that's my rich friend when he pulls up. So anyway, we're gonna grease the shaft up. You know, that's what Dan's used to do. Where's the Chandler? And we gotta replace all these bearings.
You gotta do what you gotta do to make it fit.
Yeah, $20 is $20. We're gonna change all these bearings. We gotta get all the races out of there. We got new races, and we're gonna change the inner wheel seals. The outer doesn't have a wheel seal, and we gotta change some studs. Chris had 2 brake studs on the front. He was living life dangerously, riding around with 3 wheel studs. So we're gonna get those out. Go find the wheel studs because I bought them earlier this week, and who knows where they're at now. And hang on, I'll show you how to pack some bearings. Probably should take me my advice on packing bearings though. Alright, now let's go see if we can find wheels. You ready now? You sure?
Yep.
My cameraman's struggling. Alright, you got your bearing. Anytime you got the front end apart, these are super cheap. Just go ahead and change them. It don't take that long. More aggravating changing the races than anything. But you want to pack this bearing, and the best way that we do it is just put it in your hand and just keep pushing it in there until it starts coming out the top. Probably gonna have to have more grease there, but you want to keep pushing it through there until it starts coming out like that. And now it's all in the center on my finger because the camera's going, struggling. You're gonna get messy doing this joint. Might as well go ahead and just be happy about it. Put your some gloves on, get messy. Or if you like some people I know, it'd probably be cleaner if you didn't wear gloves. You can see right here, it's coming all out the top, all the way around. And we're just gonna send it home. And now we got to get the seal in there, so we'll have to.
Still got grease on.
Can't have nothing. It's okay, I got a rag right here. Get it off. Let's get this wheel seal out. Which way does it go? The cup side goes down.
Sure.
Don't get, for sure. Don't get your 4-pound for this. Get something a little lighter, and prepare to say bad words, because voila. All right. Now I'm gonna try to get that race out, which I should have did before I put the other bearing in, and then pack this one. You ain't gotta watch me struggle.
Yes.
It's gonna be a lot of struggle.
We want to watch the struggle.
All right, so we got this thing mocked up. Hold on, we got fingerprints on y'all. There we go, much better. All right, so we got this thing mocked up, got the bag in, flat plated lower, new ball joints in the bottom, and a 2-inch drop spindle. Brandon Yon said his tire on his truck, not a stock tire, but his tire on his truck is what size?
225/30.
30/20. So I looked that up. That's 25.3 inches tall. Half of that is 12.65. Just say 12 5/8. So Dan's got this flat on the front cross member, and we're gonna put that in the center of the hub right there. And that is dead on 13. So this will actually lay on a taller tire than what's on his truck right now. That's a 26-inch tall tire, because this represents the ground to the center hub. It's 13, so that means we have enough suspension there for a 26-inch tall tire, which is more than enough. With the 17, we're not going to be anywhere near that high, but we want to, like I say, we want to mock it up so that when he does decide to change it, he don't have to go back and do anything. This is hitting. You can notch this if you want, but I may notch it. I may just leave it alone. So I can tell you that if the steering was hooked up, it would be hitting the frame, but I'm not going to notch it at this time. Just
If he wants it.
yeah, if he wants it, we can do it.
Just bring it back.
It's really fast, but we are going to put shocks on it. So we're going to do it like we did on my S10. We're going to go ahead and pocket the frame here and put a stud off the bottom. I don't think that'll be in this video, but yeah. Anyway, so there's one corner mocked up. Now I got to tear it all the way back apart. Like I say, probably going to notch this right here a little more and pull these arms off, wire wheel them again, paint them black, and paint the frame black where I cut everything. I got to do a little bit more grinding, put an air fitting in it, run me an air line, and then do the other side. Sway bar, was thinking about keeping it, but I think I'm just going to cut it off or unbolt it. Not cut it off, but just take it off completely because it's going to have shocks on it, so it should be okay. Thoughts?
Do away with it.
Do away with it? Okay. Alright. Back to we got it mocked up with the wheel on. We got it jacked up to where the bottom of the tire is flush with the front cross member. And it's barely touching the AC box. Barely. I don't know if that's something that we can slot some holes and move up just a hair, or if we need to do some fiberglass work, but
Who needs AC?
we didn't do that on Jeff's truck. Oh, if we take the AC off, it's getting body drop. So, but it looks good. I really like the wheel with the color choice. Very nice. Hey, Jim Bug. Tell us, hey, look at me using my leg like a big boy. I got this front suspension mocked up. Don't worry, it's coming back apart. Everything's getting painted. It's not done. It's mocked up. But next, we need to do shock mounts. If you go way back, last year sometime, I done a video on doing shock mounts on the front of a S10, my S10, and we pocketed them into the frame. I'm gonna do the same thing here. Mine's a little different than his because mine had tubular control arms with mounts already on the control arm. This one does not, so we're going to put mounts on the control arms. I ordered these from Lowrider Depot. It's just a shock stud with a smooth head so your tire doesn't rub it. And then you just pop a hole bolt it up. I dropped it. All right, hold up. It's got the spacer that goes on there. Spacer's your shock away from the control arm. Wham bam. But I'm gonna run the same shocks I run on my S10. They are a Master Pro NS 101. They are around 10.5 inches fully collapsed. Oh, can't see it. NS 101. These are for the front of a Nissan hardbody, if you are wondering what they fit. If you would like a better quality shock, I mean, I'm sure they sell OE Spectrums, but this is what I used on mine. It rides great, so I'm gonna keep that trend going. Unfortunately, that hole will not fit on that sleeve. So I went over, got my toolbox there. I dug out some metric bolts. I don't know what size it is, but I do know that it fits through there and it's tight, so that's what I'm going to use. And these are not a total waste because I'm going to steal that spacer and use it. So I've got nuts for the bolts, and what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to weld the nut to the back side of the control arm so that they don't work loose. I've had that happen on my truck. Put the bolts on, tighten the crap out of them. It's got a lock nut just like that on it. And still, while you're driving it, the nut worked loose, bolt fell out. Driving it kind of low one day, and I hear something start dragging. Pick the truck up, still dragging. Get out, shock bolt had come out. Shock was dragging the ground. So had to get out on the side of the road and take it loose. And I don't want him to have to do that. So by welding the nut, if this starts getting loose, you'll hear it start slopping a little bit before it falls out. So, all right. Also, I've got me some pipe here. The dogs just knocked all this crap over right before I started filming. But this is 3.5 inch outside diameter, 3 inch inside diameter, so it's quarter wall. And this is what we're going to use to pocket the frame. I'm going to get over here and take a couple measurements and figure out what I need, how long I need it, and all that good stuff, and I'll be back with you in just a minute. Alright, I got my pipe cut to length here. I ended up cutting for this truck, this piece is 9.5 inches long. I made my mark. I made a mark down the weld seam on the backside, so I knew it'd be straight, and then I come across and made me another mark. I got this thing jigged up here. This little Harbor Freight fab table comes with these adapters. You take 2 of these, you put a piece of pipe on it, it keeps it from rolling. And yeah, clamp it down. I'm about to start cutting it. I'll cut it up to the clamp, cut it, spin it around, flip it over, cut the other side, and once you start getting to the other side where it's almost cut through, it's a little bit more challenging, but I'll hold it with my hand. Ciao. Alright, so I come in here, drill my hole in the control arm. It ended up being a 15-30 seconds. I don't know what that is in metric. That's what size I ended up with. And then I stuck my shock up here, pushed it completely down with the suspension laid out, and I marked where my shock is. So that's going to give me a pretty good rough indicator of where the center of the pipe needs to be. And next I'm going to stick the pipe up here, mark where it is, and then I'm going to take my plasma and I'm going to cut it out. And then I got to cut like a half moon shape into the top and the bottom of the frame for the pipe, and get it all cleaned up, get it ready to weld a new piece in. This little brace here, I'm just going to take the cutoff wheel and cut it off and get it out of the way. And then the top of the shock is going to be up under the AC box, so it's not going to go that high. And yeah, come back in just a second and show y'all what I did. All right, got this frame all hacked out just in time for Chris to show up and freak out. He said, I don't like that. Nah, so got my pipe cut me a top plate there. Drilled me a hole. If you watch the video on mine, I cut the metal off right here flush with the end of the tube, and the hole was right on the edge, so I added a little bit to it this time so the bushing had a little more to hit too. And I'm about to get this tacked in, put the shock on, get everything cycled. I'll show you in a minute what it looks like, and then after everything's good, we'll burn her in. So we got the shock mocked up, got plenty of room around it. Chris gonna collapse it all the way up. And ka-chow. None of this is tight, but you get the point. And that'll lay on a 26 inch tall tire?
26.
Yeah, so a 20, no problem. Trying to get out of the way of that fan. Sure we have some wind noise. Got this side completely mocked up. Now we get to tear it all back apart and actually paint and weld everything and do the other side. and then give me a little while and I will show you a laid out picture for the first time. You ready? You gonna hang out that long?
Bye.
All right.
It ain't gonna take us long.
Nah, it ain't gonna take long at all. You ready? All right, we got Chris behind the camera. First time ever. Compression fittings. Press locks are cool. These don't leak unless you're over time. Thread tape. I don't use paste. I always use thread tape. That S10 over there will stay aired up for 2 months if you leave it up. So I know it works. I'm gonna show you how to do this because people a lot of times put it on backwards. You put the thread tape in your right hand, lay it on your finger, take your fitting, lay on top of it, roll it up. Make sure you cover the threads good. About 2 good rounds, maybe 3 if you're lucky. And voila. Never gonna leak. Might be Chris's problem if it does. These bags, the front bags are Firestones. They're 3/8 sport. The rears are 1/2 inch, and we got the same fitting but 1/2 inch pipe thread for the rears. That way they all match, and we ain't got to worry about his truck leaking down every time he leaves it aired up. So compression, that's where it's at. All right, she's on her own air. Not really. She's on shop air. I'm gonna give you the honors of laying it out for the first time. He said, "Oh." All right, we'll be back momentarily. No, that ain't it. That ain't it. Nah, that ain't it. Keep going. There we go. I heard some metal on the ground. Shoo-wee. There you go, sir.
Oh yeah.
It's definitely a lot lower than it was when I got here. You can stick your head between the tire and the fender when it got here. Alright, so next day, me and Chris put in a bunch of hours on this thing yesterday, about 7. We got the front end knocked out, everything except the driver's side shock mount. I got to go back and do that, pocket the frame, but I showed you how to do it on the passenger side, so I'm not going to show you the other side. It's just the same thing, just mirrored. On that side, it still has a factory inner fender well in. I'm going to have to trim that for clearance, but other than that, it's the exact same process. My kiddo's home. She went to her mom's last weekend, missed her. She just made it back today. Yeah. If y'all didn't hear her, she said, no, I didn't miss her. But anyway, she's going to lay this thing out for me. Go ahead.
Yeah.
And show y'all what it looks like. Turn this camera around here. All right, so the dog came over here and just messed my filming all up there while she was letting the back down. Stop, dog. Why can't you be good like Junior? Look at Junior over there asleep. Why can't you be good like Junior?
Is it on the ground yet?
No, keep going. There we go. All right, y'all. Chris be ready to fight you. You say that.
Oh, it was a joke.
All right, so maybe that gives y'all a little insight into how to do the front of an S10. You can do that, like I say, the setup that we done, 26-inch tall tire. If you done a little bit more cutting, you could probably put a little taller tire on it. Or if you run a tube lower that moves the ball joint up, you could get even lower with the stock upper control arms with those ball joints. But yeah, here it is. We're getting a little closer. Got some customer stuff coming in. There's a big truck show down here this weekend called Tacos and Trocas. However you say it. I don't know how you say it. I can't roll that R. But we got some guys that's trying to get their trucks ready for that. And just like every year, they always wait till the week of to want to bring stuff to me. So I've got to do an IHC control arm swap on a Silverado later this week. And I got one more to do. And then we're going to get back on the S10. He's not coming till tomorrow, so I'm actually going to get in here tonight and start the next video and start doing the cross member and everything to mount the air management and get that train rolling so that we can get a little closer and a little closer and a little closer and a little closer, and we can get this thing back to Chris and he can go cruising.
That's so great. That's so fun.
Yes, I need a cruise in my life.
Don't we all?
Yeah. All right, y'all. We're going to hop off here, and hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, hit the comments. Once again, lowerclassfab.com.
So tell them bye.
Get some merch. We got plenty. We need to sell some of this stuff. We got way too much in there still, and I'm still way too invested in it. I haven't made my money back yet. So, yeah, y'all go buy some of that stuff. And like I said, big boy sizes are in. Some of them's already sold out. I'm sorry. We're already in the process of trying to get those refilled already. And they're checking on prices on hoodies. So I know a bunch of people's asking about hoodies today. I'm afraid they're going to be kind of expensive because the price of everything has went through the roof. But we're gonna see, and we may do a pre-order on those instead of just an order. That way, you know, we're not sitting on $3,000 worth of hoodies in there that we can't sell. So, all right, tell them bye.
Bye.
Toodaloo.